Gr.3 here at Nurburgring GP. We're gonna have the Mercedes this time. Last time on round one we had the Ferraris 458s, and today we're having the Gr.3 Mercedes.
Hello everybody, this is Mike. My co-presenter Eddie here is going to help me announce this race and call everything. You can watch all the action on NACAM Virtual GT on Twitch or on PX7 Grove on YouTube. We have two different angles today. We're gonna get started in 1 moment. He told me to check the messages here. Lobby is bugged. Look at the time. I think we're good. Some of the drivers reporting some inconsistencies with the timing, but we should be okay.
Cool.
Oh no, he's going to back it out. He's going to reset. Taking no chances. So let me familiarize the new viewers, Eddie, with the format. This is an 8-race series that we're doing here. 6 of their 8 results will count. So each driver here has more opportunities to get a better score if today's race does not go to plan. The grid today is not based on qualifying. It is based on total points from the last round. So each driver needs to move up the grid in order to start higher up next race. And Eddie, as we saw last week, we saw in some incredible action here with Death Sun, Miro, Boca, Girthquake, among others, all battling hard. I'm sure we'll see more of the same this week. What did you think about the action last time?
Well, it definitely it was pretty intense. I mean, Miro and PX7 Death Sun, they were truly going at it from lap 1 all the way to the closing laps of the race. I mean, it was an intense battle. And, you know, every single lap you would see place exchanges from those two drivers until we had 3rd and 4th spot kind of catch up to that battle. And then that's when things started to kind of mix up a little bit more. And there was, you know, there was a battle for second from 3 different drivers. And towards the end, you know, PX7. Oh, give me a second, because broadcast, something happened here on broadcast. Okay, we're back. So basically, yeah, PX7, Death Sun towards the end, you know, banked on the drivers behind him fighting, and then, you know, he got a comfortable lead after probably, I would say, lap 17. You know, it was closer to the last lap, or 17, 18, and, you know, for a while it was just PX7 Death Sun and D1 Miro fighting for that first spot. And that was really interesting to see, because these drivers were just so quick and making very little mistakes as well.
I agree. It was incredible to watch, and well, as clean as it was, there were some incidents that were filed after the race that were dealt with, and these guys are well aware of what's expected this time. Drake early is a good idea. So here we go, guys. Starting now, round 2 of the NACAM Virtual GT3 Series. Final messages from the drivers coming through. Starting the race. Here we go.
Alright, it should be a very interesting one here. To see this driver, especially, I'm very excited to see what V1 Myro and PX7 Devson are going to do in this race. I mean, last race we know that there was a lot of really good battles from them too, so it's going to be very interesting to see this time.
As soon as they take off, I will jump in on the camera. You have to wait just a moment to hop in. There we go, and they're off. About to be. It's unfortunate somebody joined the lobby at the wrong time, it seems. It may be messing up the grid here. Let's see if they all get away clean. They do.
Alright, we got a clean start from everybody. We did that suck check, so we know that all the drivers were able to get off the line right now. Now we're going to turn 1. No incidents so far, which is good.
On board with Miro. Seems like everybody got away relatively clean there. Some good battling between Boca Kimi and Creaser here for position 6. Going side by side through the 5th and 6th turn. Oh, getting very loose there, Boca Kimi.
Yeah, I remember him from the last race. He was also in the battle for the top spots as well. And he was doing very good on the last race, so we know that this guy is a strong driver and he could definitely get to the front. If little mistakes happen and he continues a good pace as he did on the round 1 at Monza. So yeah, this is definitely a driver to watch out for.
Seems that Defsun is already pulling out a gap here at the lead. 1.5 seconds in front of Earthquake, and Rodrigo now attacking for 2nd position on their way into the chicane. He seals that move off cleanly, closes the door. Everybody jostling through the chicane, just trying to make it through without going over track limits. Very nice clean start to the race here from everybody.
Yeah, Defsun already with just a little bit over 1.5 seconds in the lead already. I think the other players are saving tires at the moment.
Somebody's gone off back there. I think that was this DMR Stinky who went very, very wide into the first corner. Oh my, some really wide exit to turn 4 there from, it seems, V1 Sam. Very bumpy here through this corner. Getting a little out of control here. Very tough battling between cars and the V1 lads. Oh no. 2 V1 off and cards off here. Sam and cards falling to the back. Stinky and Improfusion here battling as well. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, it sucks. It's cards and Sam, man. These guys are really fast, and I felt like they had a good chance for a top 5.
It's the 2nd race in a row where they've been tangled now, so we'll see how things get handled after the race. There may be some more steward inquiries yet to be filed. Up closer to the front, we have Miro and Rod still battling for 2nd.
Yeah, really a shame for those 2 drivers at the back. They had the incident. They went completely off. I saw them going into the gravel trap. But yeah, I mean, right here we still have the same drivers that were at the front from last race. Actually, I remember from the last broadcast, somebody was rooting for Rodrigo here to take a win. Didn't quite make it because he was coming from the back, but right now, you know, he's in a good spot. You know, he's second place. If he doesn't fight too much with Miro, he may have a chance to close that gap between him and Defson. That's something that we will have to see.
Yes, this is always the type of track where anything can happen, and just one wrong move can set you back quite a few seconds in the pecking order. So with 20 laps left to go, there's plenty of time for Rodrigo and Miro to close the gap.
Yeah, not a lot of room for mistake here. Usually some tracks you have a bit of runoff, but yeah, this one, you go off a little bit, drop a wheel, you're in the grass, you're in the gravel, and like you said, you lose a lot of time.
On board with V1 Creaser. V1 Creaser, of course, Eddie has some GT Academy experience. In 2015, he went to the Abu Dhabi World Finals and raced in a real 370Z race car at the Abu Dhabi 24-hour Grand Prix WEC event. It was an endurance race where some GT Academy competitors were able to compete.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Closing down the back of Bokukimi right now. It seems like he is starting to get into the slipstream and gain time little by little. Up further ahead, Miro and Rod still very close together on track. Seems like that will be an extended battle that may develop throughout the race here. They are now about 2 seconds behind Defson.
Cards fan and Sam still going at it, a little bumping in the back. Going into one, they were side by side, getting a little contact there.
I picked up that battle now as well. Seems like the gap has increased a little bit out of the first corner, separating things. As we go through the order, from top to bottom, we have PX7 Defson, followed closely by Rodrigo, followed by Miro, Girthquake, Bokukimi, V1 Creaser, John, DMR Dino, DMR Stinky, Improfusion, PX7 Cards Fan, and in 12th place, V1 Sam. All the runners still relatively close together. From 1st to 12th is just 12 seconds.
So I want to point something out right now. It looks like Miro is definitely close enough to make a move on Rodrigo, but it seems like he is kind of holding back, probably because he knows that if he starts fighting him, Defson will probably get an even more comfortable gap between them. So I think this is a pretty smart strategy. If that's what, let's just say that he's almost made out, but
yes. So I picked up that battle thanks to you. For sure, that is the thought that was running through his mind, but luckily that mistake did not cost him too much. He still seems well within the draft and is being pulled along by Rodrigo as they drive here.
It goes to show how good, you know, how talented these guys are. We see the attempt here from Kaiser on PX7 John, and he actually took that spot.
I see that a little further back. And down the inside he goes. Dino now taking this position from John. Now being attacked by Stinky, John is.
Yeah, definitely.
Will he send that dive? John, of course, had a rough race last weekend, but looking to recover strong from it. So while everybody here is working, trying their best to keep up, we have Defson out in the lead, continuing to increase his gap little by little, running a 54.661 on his best lap. Previous lap was a .982. As always, great consistency shown by one of the best drivers in the North American region.
Now, let me ask you one thing. Do they get an extra point for fast lap times? Is that something we're doing here?
No, there is, in the NACAM Virtual GT Series, there will be occasions where an extra point will be awarded for things like pole position or the fastest lap. In this particular series, there is none of that, though. The only points that can be made are on track for position.
Very interesting, yeah. But still, I mean, looked like Defson is definitely still doing his best to not only keep the lead, but also be the fastest guy on the track. And he's doing a good job at doing that right now. So he's got a pretty comfortable lead now, going almost 3.5 seconds from Rodrigo and Miro. So yeah, he's definitely, he doesn't have to look at his mirrors much at this point. But the battle to look at right now for second will be PX7 Rodrigo and V1 Miro, because these guys are pretty close together, and we know that every position counts, especially to take a good spot in the championship. So yeah, these guys are probably two of the closest drivers here. As we look down the grid to see who else is battling, so we have Gr.3, GTS, V1 Cruiser. Okay, so the three closest ones right now, they're probably going to get into a battle here soon. Will be DMRE Dino, DMR Stinky, and looks like PX7 John as well.
Yeah, we missed that overtake from Stinky on John. I know we saw in the previous lap, he was all over John there, and it looks like he finally capitalized on that. So, props to Stinky there.
That's right, going into the first sector, he was pressuring him. So we'll see how things turn out here as they head into the final chicane. Some good restraint being shown.
Yeah, now we see Stinky putting the pressure there on Dino there, closing that gap. And we'll see, we might see a overtake there in maybe a lap or two. It's close enough, he's in the draft, so he can, he's doing a good run down the straightaway now. Let's see what he has for Dino here.
Looks like the gap between Gr.3 and Boca Kimby has come down all the way down to nothing. Just a car length between them. Seems like at some point Gr.3 has had an issue on one of his laps. Little bobble from PX7 John there on the way up the hill. We have the two PX7 drivers and the two DMR drivers in 10th, 9th, 8th, and 7th.
Here we see Stinky giving their battle with Dino there. He's looking on the inside of that final chicane, but just couldn't quite get it.
There's a few drivers having a look there, it seems. That is going to be an important overtaking strategic point to make your move.
Yeah, for sure. Even though Stinky and Dino are kind of battling, they're closing the gap there, V1 Creaser there. So these guys are for sure going to catch up to Creaser and possibly overtake him just to gain some extra points there. So these guys got to be smart, not make any mistakes. Like you said, any little mistake could cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, and we're here riding on board with Stinky, following Dino pretty closely here behind, and so far, I mean, these guys are very smooth. They're making very little mistakes, as we can see here, keeping it very consistent and not really falling back too much here from Freezer. So yeah, I mean, like Lou was saying here, I mean, we may see an overtake here if they work together. This is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah,
just looking at the lap chart.
Here. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, excuse me. So Death Sun here has he's been very consistent so far, but one of his laps is a second slower. It seems he may have had a bobble that we missed on camera. The gap between him and Rodrigo now is down to 2.4 seconds when it may have been almost 4 seconds just a lap or so ago. So the race still alive and well up at the front here.
Yeah, battle for 4th place right now at the moment. Oh! Boca going around the outside. Oh, but not doesn't quite stick it. Earthquake still in the lead, or in the lead of that pack right here. But yeah, they're definitely racing really hard right now. Oh, Boca making a little bit of a mistake there. We'll see. We're gonna ride on board with Boca here.
Yep, I'm on the same camera as you. Watching as he takes the outside line down into turn 1. Looking for Gr.3 to go a little deep.
Gr.3 way too deep there. Oh, a little bumping there.
Yes, a little contact as he's gone by. But clean enough. That should be okay with the stewards there.
He did a little, what we call in the go-karting, a little Euro swerve, where we make our go-karts a little wide. And I felt like that's what he kind of did. So it doesn't really crash the other driver, but it does make him lose a lot of momentum. As you can see, that overtake, it was already like half a second gap. Yeah, these drivers need to be careful on how they overtake. It's got to be clean. Can't take each other out. Looks like a battle we missed here. It's Dino and Creaser, I believe, right? Or no, actually, no, they're still going. Sticky and Dino are still going at it.
Getting towards the end of lap 9 out of 25 here today. The tire wear in the NACAM Virtual GT Series is set to just ×1, so these hard tires should last for the race duration. We will see some more significant tire wear than last week at Monza at a track like this with so many more corners. We have Cards Fan and Sam still battling for position towards the back here.
Oh, Stinky going in on the inside on Dino. Oh, but goes too wide. Dino taking it right back.
Tried the crossover.
Fan and Sam just can't get enough of each other. They keep exchanging paint there. Oh, here we go inside. Oh, bit of contact forcing the issue there.
Yes, the right on the edge of what will be allowed here. We'll have a close eye on this battle just in case things get out of control. We'll want to see it on camera. Hopefully they can maintain a friendly relationship together at this point. It's not worth battling, especially when they're not too far away from a few more positions up ahead of them.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm looking at their cars, and it looks like they've been a little rough with each other.
Yes, there's definitely some marks.
But I'm looking at their cars, and they're a little beat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys are racing rough, but I feel like they're still, being as clean as they can because, like Louis said, otherwise, there'll be some people going off the track. And so far, they haven't really lost time on the guy in front of them. They're still really battling hard. So at this point, I think this is just more like for fun for these two, since they know they're towards the back and they just want to see who comes on top of each other. So right now they have been exchanging positions, as we've seen just now, and they're serving around down the straightaway.
Yes, it seemed that Sam went well out of track limits there, but we'll see how that affects things.
What's the blocking rules here? Because I see a lot of swerving back and forth, and as you can see, who was that card fan punting Sam there?
Yes, there should only be one move, just like real racing. One move is allowed from the car in front. Okay, right on the edge of breaking that right now. A little bit of moving under braking for sure right there. But the stewards will try and be fair based on the situation of the two cars in the heat of battle here. As well with the out of bounds, the stewards will look on the side of doubt for Sam and assess whether it was easier for him to make room for cars by going out of bounds, therefore making it a safer situation.
Yeah, Cartman definitely making his car really wide around the racetrack, because making extra chicanes there on the straightaway. Also, definitely going to affect his tire wear, doing all that extra turning.
Yes, absolutely.
So we'll see how that plays out. Oh, Cartman going a little wide, but still winning the draft.
Honestly, I have to respect the hustle from those two drivers, because they, all in all, they're still battling each other pretty hard, as they were battling, as if they were battling for the top spot, which is very remarkable, in my opinion.
Yes, and speaking of the top spot, still a consistent gap with Def Sun, 2.7 seconds ahead. Coasting in the lead for now, but Rodrigo hot on his heels, matching his pace lap for lap.
Yeah, I noticed that, because PX7 Def Sun had a 3.3 second gap earlier when we were watching him, and now looks like Rodrigo definitely stepped it up and is definitely closing that gap between him and Def Sun for sure. So it's looking good for Rodrigo so far, especially since he has plenty of laps here to close that gap and hopefully bring a battle to Def Sun here in the coming laps.
Yeah, Def Sun there running his best sector, second or first sector actually. So he's probably watching the stream and listening to us. Definitely went a little faster there.
Yeah, Def Sun's still holding the fastest lap of the race, so we'll see what the pace is going to be like here going forward, since he definitely noticed that the gap is closing between him and Rodrigo, and now the gap is actually increasing, so it went from a 2.6 to a 2.9 right now, so he definitely knows. He's definitely keeping an eye on that gap. Miro dropped 3.2 seconds behind Rodrigo, and it was a close battle a couple laps ago, and something must have happened, because they were really close to each other.
Looks like all the drivers have settled in right now. They don't seem to be wanting to battle till the end, trying to save those tires. Even though it's at times one, but every little bit counts here when you're driving against the best in North America.
Yes, this is a notoriously difficult circuit to overtake on, but it's also a place where it's known that it can be done. It's just not easy. Usually turn one or at the chicane are two of the popular spots, but you're able to battle all throughout Sector 1. If you have a good run on the car ahead of you, you can get side by side.
Yeah, it's really hard to do when, again, everyone's in the same car, so it really comes down to the driver. A little bit of luck, obviously, try to get that overtake done.
Yeah, for sure, and the tire wear is definitely a key factor, even though, like, we've been mentioning that it's at the lowest point of tire wear, but I believe that with the skill of most of these drivers, having that extra grip, especially towards the end of the race, it's crucial and it's key to be able to make that, you know, that move on the driver ahead of you, just because of that that advantage, you know, since these guys are all pretty close in pace.
Stinky getting quite close to the back of Dino. And likewise for Creaser on the back of Girthquake.
Yeah, definitely decreased that gap from, it was about 2.5 seconds, now down to just 2/10 now. He's in the draft. So we'll see if he tries to make a move this lap.
That's for sure. I could imagine something being attempted here. Outside or inside, equally as difficult. Let's see what he tries.
Yeah, nice block there by Girthquake. Lots of respect from these two drivers.
These two battles may merge any moment now. One more attempt that fails from Creaser will have the other two drivers, Dino and Stinky, right on their tail. Here we go. Creaser looking at the outside, most likely. Girthquake truly covering and defending as best he can. From the GTA Academy competitor from 2015, Girthquake holds on, taking the tighter, faster line. And as I said, Stinky and Creaser now, I'm sorry, Stinky and Dino now well within draft range, it seems. Almost there.
Yeah, definitely a difference in driving styles compared to Cardspan and Sam. You can see the other two, when they were battling that close, they were like just going side to side down the racetrack. So definitely different strategies are being played here.
Speaking of Sam, he's moved up ahead of Cardspan and ahead of John. So at some point you missed some more action there where they reordered themselves. Sam finding out that he was the quickest.
Looking at their cars right now, and yeah, there's definitely some paint missing from those cars.
Of course, they are about, let's see, about 5 seconds back from the Stinky Dino Creaser Girthquake battle, which is deciding 5th place. Slightly further ahead, we have Boca Kimi slowly but surely closing on the back of Miro, now only 2 seconds away. Rodrigo 5 seconds further up from Miro and 3.5 seconds back from Defsun, who is in full control, showing why he is one of the best. Consistently putting in lap after lap in the low 55s, now cracking into the high 54s.
Yeah, definitely he's the underdog here for sure. He's always been very quiet, doesn't, you know, do too much to stand out, but man, when we look at it, we took our eyes off. He's already up to 4th place. He started, what, 5th or 6th or 7th? Now he's up to 4th. So, man, he's fast. We're just seeing a repeat of Monza here. When he got up to, I believe he was up in the lead at one point. So we'll see how much he could close this gap.
He just took a big chunk out of Miro in that corner. About 4/10 taken out of Miro since the last corner. Now that we're here in the beginning of Sector 1. Getting good exit speed on his way out. Looks like Defsun is the only driver to break into the 54s. Really showing his speed here today.
Yeah, we're about to see a 4-way battle here for 5th place here in a few laps.
Yes, I'm on board with Girth.
Yeah, so we're on board here with Girthquake here, and I'm looking at Girthquake's mirrors, and man, I see Creasy all over them. So we'll see. Hopefully
for sure, now the battles are truly merging. DMR Dino on the back of Creaser, only 8/10 back, just a matter of hundredths away from being into the draft, and truly making this interesting. Cruising through the chicane, all 4 of them, very smooth.
Now on board with Creaser. See what he got for Gr.3 here. Ooh, Gr.3 moving to the right, trying to block that move.
Intelligent defending from Gr.3.
Ooh, back to the right. Let's see. Ooh, Creaser trying to outbrake him, trying to go around the outside. Let's see if he sticks it. It sounded like he missed a shift there, actually.
And now the two behind are definitely in close range now, so we will see what happens on the straight next time. Let's take a pause from the action there and have a look at Boca Kimi. Still about the same distance away from Miro. Miro for sure now noticing how close that gap has become, trying to find more and more.
Alright, we have PX7 Defsun here with a 4-second gap. So he went from a 3.3 down to a 2.6 and then back up to a 4.0 gap between him and Rodrigo. He's been bouncing that gap.
3 out of his last 4 laps in the 54s. He's still pushing the pace, even out all on his own here. You can see his technique through the chicane, exceptional.
Now I wonder if he was just kind of pacing himself to make everybody else, or you know, the drivers behind him, think that he was slower than he actually is, because you know, even at the 17th lap, he's still very quick. And, you know, like I said, he increased the gap. So I don't know. He may be playing some mental games with the other drivers, or maybe he was just trying to, you know, post a different lap, trying to post a better lap, and made a mistake and lost some gap, and then he regained it. Yeah, so we didn't see that, but you know, there's a lot of things we could come up with at this point from seeing those variations in gaps.
I've just watched Gr.3 defend well on Creaser in the final chicane, and then Stinky taking advantage of Dino, watching the action just like me and catching him sleeping at turn 1. Dino had his eyes full of the action ahead of him and got taken by the car behind, so now we have Creaser behind Gr.3, Stinky ahead of Dino. Also looks like that battle between Miro and Boca just as close as before, about 1 second in that battle. You can see it on the map from here.
Yeah, still a bit away from Boca catching Miro, but we'll see. Hopefully he does it soon. We're towards the end of the race here, so he has to go. He has to go now.
Yes, we are in the last third of the race. And watching Creaser still struggling with Gr.3, looking for a way around. He will try on the outside, possibly. Dummies to the inside. But there is really no room to make it happen this time. He's got to be a little closer on the way out of the last corner before the chicane.
Yeah, definitely. Creaser definitely has to be very smart about this move on Gr.3, because he does have the other 2 guys behind him, and if he makes a mistake trying to make a move on Gr.3, that could cost him more than just 1 spot here. You know, as we know, these guys are very close, so maybe, you know, what I'm noticing from Creaser here is that he's playing it safe, as safely as he can, and he's most likely gonna try to wait for the more appropriate time to make this pass on Gr.3, but we also know that Gr.3 does not make it easy to make a move on him, so it's definitely going to be something to watch out here on the next few laps. I know we're getting towards the end of the race, and this is going to make it very interesting here, because the guys behind Creaser are definitely there waiting for him to make a mistake here, because they know that he's been trying to make a move on Gr.3 for a couple laps now, so they're definitely hanging back and being patient.
I've just checked the updated gaps from Boca Kimi and Miro. That is down to just 1.3 seconds now. Still steadily running those same consistent laps, trying to keep on to the back of his competitor. It seems like Boca Kimi. Yes.
Oh yeah,
no, you go ahead.
What's happened here between Greaser and Stinky? Because now Gr.3 here has a nice little lead, about a second now. So maybe Greaser and Stinky might have gone into it. Maybe we'll see. Now Gr.3 has a little bit of breathing room, trying to run his normal line, try to pull away. Because now these guys are battling for 6th place. So these guys keep battling, Gr.3 is going to get away, and they're going to lose on some points, because right now it's anybody's spot for 5th. So if these guys keep battling, it's going to be a spot for 6th. They keep battling, it's going to be 7th, you know, so on. So the more they battle, the more time they're going to lose. So hopefully these guys will start working together. Hopefully no blocking.
On board with Boca Kimi, he's now within just 1 second. He's right on the edge of 1 second from his target.
Yeah, just 6 laps to go.
Choosing to stay on the tarmac instead of using all the road. Oh, Miro getting a little sideways, and that'll let Boca get right in the draft.
Yeah, definitely putting the pressure there, making them, forcing them into mistakes actually. So you see, it's going to be interesting here on the final 6 laps. Yeah, just 6 laps pretty much are left.
An excellent chicane from Miro gets him back out of the draft, just barely. These drivers trading corner for corner who will be going quicker.
Looks like Greaser reeled back Gr.3 there.
Yes, those 3 pulling away from Dino. Sam riding in 9th all on his own. John on his own. Cards fan 33 seconds back now on his own. And Impro Fusion having a race of his own as well. 51 seconds back, but back on board with Stinky. You can see the battle between Greaser and Gr.3 is at a fever pitch. 5 laps remaining. We'll see who wants it more. Another quick check on the other battle. Boca Kimi right on the back of Miro now, only 0.5 away.
Go Brown Boy.
Bobble from Miro.
Oh yeah, Miro's definitely trying to defend his spot here. He's been doing that for the past lap. He's been on the defensive now that he has Boca on his rear side by side.
They're going through side by side. He's going to let him have that position back. He knows the draft will give him a chance on the straight. All he needs is a good run, and he'll have a shot at it. Some aggressive leaping from Miro as Boca tries to send it down the inside, it seems. Being blocked off, taking the outside.
Well, it looks like Miro's got the same approach as Gr.3 with Greaser. So these guys are definitely blocking as hard as they can to keep their spots. So I mean, right now we see Miro definitely doing a pretty good job of keeping Boca behind him, but Boca's definitely not a guy to take lightly because he already took him side by side and a couple the turn behind, so it's going to be a very close battle to the end here.
Oh, some good battling up behind them here. Dino almost going around Stinky as Stinky has a lunge at Creaser. Looking to go again, Stinky on the outside.
Creaser's not blocking, and you see, I thought they were doing pretty good because they were catching up to Gr.3 here, and they may have come to an unspoken agreement to catch up again, but it looks like they don't want to do that now. They want to battle again.
Yeah, I feel like Stinky might be fed up. They're not, going for it, getting around Gr.3, so he's probably thinking like, oh, maybe I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. Like, let me go. Because they all have very similar pace, and they all caught up to Gr.3 pretty quickly within like 2 laps. So maybe that's what Stinky's trying to do, trying to get around Creaser here.
We have Boca Kimi on the back of Miro once again, choosing not to take the draft this time, realizing it'll come down to the final lap, a battle like this. He's got Stinky alongside Creaser looking to take the spot.
Stinky on the inside, and it's good. Nicely done. Oh, both the drivers looking for grip there coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now, as Louis said, maybe they know they have the pace to run together, but maybe he felt like he was the driver to lead this pack after Gr.3, and we'll see if that's the case here. We'll see if Stinky can actually close that gap between them and Gr.3 and actually make an effort to get around them, since Creaser was trying for a while but couldn't quite make it. So we'll see if Stinky here can pull it off and lead the pack to a closer battle for 5th.
Boca Kimi all over the back of Miro now, relentless pressure, trying to force a mistake out of the young German.
Yeah, as a driver, you always want to force your opponent into a mistake, because that makes for an easier overtake, especially, again, same car, same everything. So, it's all mind games out there right now, I feel like. Ooh, a little sideways there from Miro, sorry.
See what happens here. He's reading the draft dodge better this time, not losing momentum. Boca Kimi's looking to try to dummy towards the outside, then go back inside. Let's see what happens. Down into turn 1. Some light contact.
And all that blocking definitely makes it very hard to get around this driver, especially with the pace they have.
Full send from Boca, making light contact again.
Yeah,
Stinky ahead of Creaser. Let's have a quick look up ahead of the field. We have Rodrigo 4.5 seconds back from Defsun. Defsun still consistently running low 55s, high 54s every lap. Tire wear for Defsun looking more intense than most out there. Pushing the car a little bit harder than the rest. Boca Kimi fully focused on his opportunity here. 2 full laps remaining after this one.
Yeah, I've been on board with Boca here, and Yeah, Miro just keeps dropping wheels there. Ooh, a little bumping under braking, but it's okay.
Not being given an inch. He knows the straight is his best opportunity. He's going to have to make it happen and try to beat Miro to the inside wall. Miro going straight for it. He knows if he can just guard that inside wall, it makes this move a lot harder for Boca. But as a driver who's attacking, you got to take what you get. He chooses the outside. Both going deep.
Yeah, it's very deep. Ooh, Boca there on the wrong gear.
Yeah, it's lost some momentum.
He should have. Oh yes, lots of momentum. Oh, but Miro there making a little mistake. They're going a little wide there, so.
It's the tire difference between them. Miro has slightly worse rear tire. Stinky not far from Gr.3 now. Actually well within draft range. Stinky is the faster driver at the moment. If you look at the lap times.
Yeah, I called it earlier. He wanted to. He felt like he was the faster driver of that pack, and he was pretty much the only one that had a chance against Gr.3, or trying to get around Gr.3. I've seen his aggressiveness in overtaking. You know, when he passed Creaser, so we'll see how aggressive he gets here with Gr.3.
Miro still leading Boca. Rodrigo coming through the final chicane for the second to last time. Defsun going around the final corner for the second to last time as he sees the white flag for the final lap of the race beginning. Checkered flag is being readied. 5 seconds the gap between the two PX7 drivers in first and second. Gr.3 within range of Stinky with the draft. Miro just the same. Boca Kimi just outside of lunging range unless he's really going to send it on the brakes. We'll see.
We got a nice little battle here. Sam and Dino here. Time going down on the inside on the last lap. Here we go, turn one. Ooh, nice, parks it. Ooh, crossover possible. Side by side of turn 3. Here we go. Oh, let's see who has a better grip. And, yep, Sam comes out on top.
Yes, after that early rough start from Sam, making sure he finishes well above the bottom 3, which of course get relegated in the NACAM Virtual GT Series to the lower division. Stinky just behind Girth.
Oh, he's definitely going to give it all his got here. This is the moment he's been waiting for this entire time while fighting Creaser and also Dino as well. So now that he got around those two drivers, he's definitely got the chance here to battle Gr.3 here for that 5th spot. And I know this is probably the position he's been thinking about for a lot of the portions of this race. So yeah, this is definitely going to be the moment for him to make that move before he gets the.
Oh, some sand touched by Gr.3. Maybe he will have a go for Stinky. As Defsun crosses the line with the win. Rodrigo in second.
Ooh, Stinky trying to go around the outside. Oh, sideways and he loses it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's facing the wrong way.
He's able to re-enter just in time to avoid losing more spots. He loses one more to Creaser.
Oh, is he going to block? Nope. Ooh.
A costly mistake from Stinky.
Wow, Sam from pretty much dead, like almost dead last, right? Sam was, and now 7th. Wow, good recovery.
Yes, a good recovery from Sam for sure. And Stinky, so unfortunate, trying to go down the outside of Gr.3. It seemed to miss his brakes. There may have been contact as we drew the camera back from Defsun and Rodrigo, but what a race that was towards the middle there. Up front, Defsun controlled everything. Rodrigo did the same from his position once he got away from Miro, and what a battle for every other position on the track.
Yeah, definitely a fun race to watch. Everyone's battling the front, middle, the back. So Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, for sure. An action-packed grid here we had for this entire race. Definitely unfortunate for Stinky there, trying to make that move. Gr.3 made him, or forced him to the outside, and then he still, Stinky still tried to make a move on the outside. Didn't quite stick to it. He might have touched the grass. I don't know. It kind of looked like he went a little wide on the outside, and then just completely lost it. The good thing was that he didn't lose too many spots. I mean, he definitely would have been better in 6th than in 8th that he finished, but still a respectable move. He tried to go all out. I mean, I would have been more disappointed if he didn't make that move, even if he ended up in 8th, because we saw that for most of the race, Stinky wanted to make that move on the 5th place driver, and he got his chance to do it. Unfortunately, it didn't come out as he planned it, but it was a respectable move, and that's exactly what we all expected him to do, and that was very good to see.
Agreed. Some great action here. So let me get these guys invited so we can hear from our podium runners. Well done to Rodrigo, Defsun, and Miro. All right, they have been invited to join us. Save the replays, get these race results tallied, take a quick screenshot. Okay, that is saved. See some after race thoughts from these guys. Hello, Rodrigo.
Oh, it seems like I cannot hear Rodrigo.
Yes, please make sure your microphone is shared, Defsun. Last week it was not shared.
It's shared. It's shared. No.
Hello, Miro. Well done, Miro. I watched that. That was very good.
Thank you.
Okay, testing. Is my voice working on the stream?
I will
just want
check.
to double check because it says always allow. So.
Yeah, I did that too.
Where the fuck did you guys get such a speed? What the fuck?
Don't swear, dude. We're live.
Okay, testing. Is my voice working?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, no swearing, please. So why don't you please mute yourself, Rodrigo and Miro. I'll get to you in one moment, and let me ask Defsun a few questions. Defsun, we're going to get to you twice. We're going to get final thoughts from you after I interview Rodrigo and Miro. But first, Defsun, first of all, well done. You ran an amazing race from the front. You started on pole and finished in first place. Give us your thoughts on the race itself as far as running on your own and the combo and how things felt for you out there.
Thanks, Mike. So honestly, the race was pretty good. The combo felt nice. The only thing is the car is very understeery, especially in Sector 1, but that's just basically a side effect of the Mercedes. Not much you can really do about that. The race for me was basically like, okay, if I can survive turn 1, then I should be okay. It'll just become about managing the gap. Because the thing is with this track is I feel like if you can get out of turn 1 like in the lead, there's a good chance there's going to be 2 or 3 cars side by side coming out of turn 1, meaning that they're going to be battling and you can kind of just waltz, like get lucky and waltz away. So I kind of relied on that. And then once they stopped battling and spaced themselves out, it just became a question of maintaining the gap. I didn't even try to go too crazy, especially at that final chicane where I know there's like could be penalties issued if you cut it too much. So I just tried to be consistent, and yeah, and it worked out.
You were driving exceptionally well, the only driver in the field to break into the 54s, and you did it several times. So very well done, and great comments as well on how difficult it is to overtake here. As you said, if you go through turn 1 on the inside and you have the whole rest of the pack behind you kind of reshuffling, it does create a situation where all you need to do is drive ahead. So we'll get back to you in just one moment. Rodrigo, can you unmute yourself?
Sure thing, yeah.
Rodrigo, awesome job. You had a great battle with Miro the first half of the race. Give us your thoughts on battling in early on and how the race evolved for you as you managed to pull away.
Yeah, I felt comfortable. What else? A battle never really materialized. We never went side by side. I thought it was just a matter of breaking the draft and I could pull away. And I think that's what I did, you know. And I also broke into the 54 twice. But
oh, you did? That's good to know. I didn't see those.
Yeah, but I didn't do it consistently like Devson. But all in all, at the start of the race I was third. I had to pass a car to get in second. It was Gr.3. And I was a second from Devson by then, so he was gone. But all in all, to have such a gap to third place and to only be 4.8 of Devson and having a 1-2 for the team, I am pretty pleased, yeah.
You ran very well considering everything. You know, there was a moment where you were kind of closing the gap down to Devson. It was 3.5 seconds, came down to 2.5. You managed to keep that gap in a good place for most of the race and really matched his pace throughout. So very well done from you. Excellent result for the championship points. Miro, would you please unmute yourself now? And we'll get to you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Hello, Miro. So very well done. We had a close eye on your battle with Bokakimi. That got very intense toward the end. Give us your thoughts on battling with your competitor there for lap after lap. I think the whole second half of the race he was within a few seconds of you.
So from the start of the race, when I started, my start was pretty good, and I went up almost to the second position. And then Gr.3 pulled over on the first turn, so there was almost a massive crash. Lost a couple of positions. I just couldn't get my rhythm in till the last couple of laps, and Boca was very quick catching me, and we were driving side by side very fairly, and was really hard in the end because he's putting a lot of pressure.
For sure, we saw attempt after attempt from Boca as he would try the outside of turn one several times, but you managed to fairly, it may be said, defend him off each time. Also with the chicane, there was one moment where you seemed to go out of bounds at one point as he was attacking you, but all's fair. It looked like you guys were just jostling for position. Everyone stayed safe in the end, so it was another good performance from you. So this is another great points finish towards your championship tally. Should be very proud of that result, battling with Boca like that. He's a very quick driver. And hopefully next race you can take it to Devson and Rodrigo again. We want to see more battles just like Monza. So excellent job from all three of you. Back to you, Devson, for some final thoughts on the race and your outlook for the last 6 races of the championship. We have some new drivers coming up next week. We know that in the bottom division, I haven't seen the results yet, but I would assume that TX3 Cooper and Turismo Leicester are now going to be joining the top split here. Give us your thoughts on the rest of the season and your outlook towards everything.
I'm just going to do my best, honestly. It's one of those things where I feel like the best way to look at it is not to worry too much about, what could happen turn one, what could happen here. Like, just kind of know that you have the ability to do the pace that you're targeting and just kind of go for it and just try to stay out of trouble. Don't go, battle when you don't have to, if you're able to, obviously. And just look at the road ahead and try to ignore the gaps. Because I noticed, even in that race, Rod definitely didn't make it easy. I would look up, and then I would notice after that I would mess up a corner, and he'd gain back. So I think you're better off just kind of focusing on your own race, and that's something I'm going to be doing probably for the remaining 6 races.
It's definitely good advice, considering you guys are all in the same car with equal power and everything like that. Focusing on yourself is always a good idea in those situations.
Yeah, for sure.
So that will wrap it up for the interviews. I want to thank all 3 of you guys for competing today, and I will see you all next week at the next round with the FT1. The track will be announced tomorrow.
Thanks, Mike. See ya.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Awesome racing. I'll talk to you guys after this. All right, and Eddie, are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here. We're listening to the entire interview. Very good.
It's great thoughts from the drivers, great input on the series. Seems like they've all realized how good competition that was. Devson certainly cruised to victory today pretty easily, but some final takeaways. Eddie, what do you think we can expect for next week? Do you think Devson will have it all his own way, or will there be some competitor from the back? Maybe one of these newly promoted guys like Leicester and Cooper to come in and shake things up?
Well, my thoughts are, this track definitely brought a lot of battles. So I feel like this track was more how would I put it? It was a bit more difficult than Monza, and so there had to be a little bit more strategy, and even the battles would last a little bit longer than they would in Monza. So then that I feel like played a big factor into how the gaps start to progressively get larger between drivers. So I feel like if the next track these guys learn how to battle a little bit less at the beginning of the race and kind of better strategize for a better precision, then maybe they could take the battle to Death Sun, much earlier to, like we've seen Miro do it on Monza. So maybe, I feel like maybe, if they take a different approach by next race, it should be a little bit harder for Death Sun to get away like he did today. So, I mean, we never know, so... and also the new drivers that you mentioned, Turismo Lester, and who was the other one?
TX3 Cooper, who he has won a Nations Cup exhibition season before, so he's a very fast driver, a former PX7 member as well, so known to be fast the last year or so.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, any fast driver at this point can shake up the grid, because, if we have a lot of drivers that are running similar paces and they know how to race each other, know how to, approach each other on this racing under racing conditions, then definitely the grid and everything could change, because one more fast driver could start making moves on other drivers that you could not expect it, and can start shaking things up again, and definitely could help the excitement here for the next race.
I could sure see how it happens. Turismo Lester, very well known for his activity on Twitch and his daily race prowess, a multi-time World Tour competitor, and TX3 Cooper, a very accomplished driver, racing on one of the best teams in Europe. So we look forward to seeing those guys in the future. You guys can catch all the action right here on PX7 Grove on YouTube or NACAM Virtual GT on Twitch. We will be broadcasting Friday at 8:30 every Friday except Thanksgiving all the way to the end of the year. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. On behalf of myself, Mike Grove, my broadcast team, Eddie and Louie from Project Speed Factory, we want to thank you guys for checking it out and sticking with us. You can also follow NACAM Virtual GT on Instagram now. The newly created account is now available to follow. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great evening. We'll see you again soon.
Yep.
Good night, everyone.